The Oscar nominations are tomorrow, and I really hope they're not like what they were last year. I thought last year's Best Picture nominees were the worst list I have seen since I've been alive. It was more like the Best Popular Film category, which, they supposedly did away with it, but they kind of kept it anyways. This year, though, was actually a really good year for film, and since the nominations are coming out tomorrow morning, I'm not going to do a prediction for every category, but I'm going to narrow it down to the Best Picture category, which can have up to 10 choices. They haven't done that since 2011. Usually there's 9, sometimes there's 8. But if there's up to 10, I'm going to guess 10, and hopefully I am totally right, and I'll probably be totally wrong. So let's give her a whirl, shall we? First on my list is Sam Mendes' 1917, and man, did this movie blow up fast. Expect for it to win a slew of technical Oscars, such as cinematography, score, sound editing, sound mixing, and production design, but also expect, of course, for a Best Picture nomination and a Best Director nomination for Mendes. Also, don't be surprised about George McKay. Next on my list, I'm not so confident in Ford versus Ferrari, but I'm going with my gut. I got a feeling about halfway through this film that it would be nominated for Best Picture, and if Christian Bale is nominated for Best Actor, I say we're in good hands. Also expect a bunch of technical nominations, such as sound editing, sound mixing, cinematography, and editing. This is a wonderful film. Hopefully they recognize it, but you never know. Next is Jojo Rabbit, and this is a divisive pick, but at the same time, with its recent Directors Guild nomination and also it winning People's Choice at Toronto Film Festival, which has been an indicator of the Best Picture nominee / winner for a couple of years now, I honestly think Jojo Rabbit's got it in. Expect nominations for Scarlett Johansson, an adapted screenplay, production design, and Best Picture, of course, since this is what we're talking about. Next is Joker, another divisive choice, but at the same time, there is a lot of love for this film. I don't think Todd Phillips will get in for Best Director. It's just a hunch. But expect nominations for Best Picture, Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix, production design, cinematography, score, adapted screenplay, and a slew of others. This movie is huge. People love it. I love it. It'll be a winner. Next is Little Women, Greta Gerwig's latest. It's a lot of people really love this movie, as do I, and it's getting more and more love over the weeks. Expect nominations for Best Picture, Adapted Screenplay, Actress, and a slew of others. My next one is Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story, which, honestly, I think Baumbach could get the 5th slot for Best Director, him or Greta Gerwig, either way, but expect nominations for Best Picture, Actor, Actress, Supporting Actress for Laura Dern, Original Screenplay, and score for Randy Newman as well. I think this could be a big one, and Netflix is going to have a good night. Next is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which, frankly, I can see winning Best Picture. So expect a Best Picture nomination, Best Director for Quentin Tarantino, Best Actor for Leonardo DiCaprio, Best Supporting Actor for Brad Pitt, Best Supporting Actress, perhaps. There's plenty of options there. Original Screenplay, Production Design, Costume Design, yada yada, you get the drift. This is going to be a big winner, I think, but we'll see. Next is Parasite. This movie has been the talk of the town since its Palme d'Or win at the Cannes Film Festival, and with good reason. If you've seen it, you know the hype, you know how deliciously wicked it is, and it's a great movie. Expect nominations for Best Picture, Original Screenplay, Director for Bong Joon-ho, perhaps even an acting nomination. Best Supporting category can kind of be random, so you never know. One of the actors here could get in. Next is The Farewell, and this one I'm the least confident in, but at the same time, every so often at the Oscars there's a sleeper hit. This film was a sleeper hit, and it's wonderful. If it's nominated for Best Picture, also expect nominations for Best Actress for Awkwafina, one I'm really pulling for, Supporting Actress, and original screenplay at the very least. But again, this would be the 10th slot. I really just don't know. But hopefully it gets in. I believe. Maybe. Next is, and last, actually, is Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, which could also potentially be a huge winner. Expect nominations for Best Picture, Director. I'm even saying actor, even though Robert De Niro, who hasn't been nominated for anything for this movie, has, been getting snubbed across the board. But of course, both supporting actors, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci, adapted screenplay, visual effects, editing, among other things. One could easily make a drinking game out of that video. Drink anytime he says a slew of, or a big one, or, whatever. I did it in one take. Give me a break. Anyways, let's see how it turns out tomorrow, and you can follow me on Instagram at moviesforlife17, or I don't care. Alright, thank you, and have a good night.